Hello out there. It's your boy Guillermo Kioske back at you with another one. Let me just make sure my charger's plugged in so my computer doesn't go wacko schmacko in the middle of the stream. Salute to everybody. Here with my Told You So pipe. Sim should be coming sometime soon. Salute to the young buck, Gavin Kelly. New member to the Knicks family. Let go of his Pacers fandom. Smart kid. He has a bright future in front of him. Kodak Vlog, salute. He says Alex Len, KPJ out. Trade DSJ, drop Iggy, lock in for the playoffs. I don't know about the playoffs, but Alex Len could be a decent piece. Now, I'm not saying he's a lifesaver. He's not. But if you tell him about a project, never know. Bring him in as a big man and be able to space at the floor. Only shot, I think, 0.5% of his threes, or 0.5 threes this year. Yeah, he was trash. Well, he only got 10.9 minutes a night. But we'll definitely talk about it. Let me see where's my phone to make sure. So I know Sim got I did send him the link just to make sure. Yes, I did. Suit to quiet money. I mentioned we should trade RJ or move RJ to the bench to have better balance. Hogwash. What is this better balance you talk of? When he's probably, at least with the most potential on this team, to be our second playmaker outside of Julius Randle. Yesterday, he had 4 assists. EP had 4 assists. The game before, I believe, RJ had 3 assists and EP had none. What does EP do consistently as a playmaker on this team? He's touch and go. Joe Madden, salute. He says, go trade for Kevin Porter Jr. Tibbs is the best coach for the kid. Well, the thing about Kevin Porter Jr., I think that he has mental issues. Remember, he had that suicide tweet or something like that he put out on social media. So I think that is a little bit more than basketball. Some of these kids, again, they get burned out, some of them fairly quickly into the NBA season. We don't know what's going through their head. Look at Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's a guy that might have mental issues. I'm just saying, we don't know. But KPJ, he needs some legit counseling, I think, before we consider basketball options and take him on a flyer. It can't hurt, but again, I think it might be a little bit deeper with him versus him trying to, him just being on a team that he doesn't like. Salute to Gerald Sports Jr. Salute, sir. He was here yesterday, gracing us with his presence. Salute to that young man. The Warriors match very well against the Knicks. You have a Payton, Curry, Bullock, Oubre, RJ, Wiggins, Randall, Draymond, Mitch, Wiseman. No mismatch for New York to take advantage of. Yeah, and I was watching that game yesterday. The Warriors, they run a lot of off-ball movement for players. I saw them how they use Pascal. They use a lot of where Pascal will set the off-ball pick and then roll. But it's like in motion to where when they make the pass to the guy who's coming off ball, Pascal's then rolling to the basket. So it's almost like a pick and roll that if one of the defenders gets confused or doesn't stay or they don't reset on Pascal quick enough, you could get burned. Curry only went 3 for 12 last night from 3. They had a lot of contributions. I mean, Andrew Wiggins, I believe, hit 3 threes yesterday. Draymond Green was an excellent passer. A lot of weave plays up top, weave handoffs. Kind of similar to what the Knicks do at times, but they run a lot quicker. With the Knicks, they run some weave handoffs, but it's kind of laying the clock. Run a weave handoff, drive to the basket, kick it out to the wing if it's not open. So yeah, the Warriors, and they have good defenders. As much as Kelly Oubre has been so-called, kind of struggling. Yesterday, he had 23 points, went 9 for 18 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3. But yeah, really good. He had good defense. He had that timely turnover on Schroeder. He was a solid player yesterday. So again, guys might just be catching their stride. The thing with Knicks fans, because I heard some people saying yesterday, "Oh, we're gonna beat the Warriors." I'm like, dogs. The Warriors were 6-6 when we said that, and they beat probably the so-called best team in the league. Now the Lakers at the time was playing like a days ago. Like there was a play where literally LeBron James is jogging back on defense, didn't get back to his man, and I think it was Pascal who scored the point because I think it was Curry. Yeah, it was the one where Curry caught AD on that little hezzy, drove to the basket furthermore, and then kicked it off. I have all this crap on my freaking. He drove to the basket and kicked it off to, I think Pascal was running baseline. So yeah, let me just hide this real quick. Yeah. So I'm not taking the Warriors lightly by any means, but that's Thursday is definitely going to be. I know people say, "Oh, but they're playing the Spurs." Well, I don't really care if they play the Spurs. The Knicks are still not in any position to say some other team is playing some other team. Oh, we good. We got them. No, not even close to it. We ain't that type of team right now, man. We got to be a lot more humble with how we roll, man. Like chill out, guys. Like, I mean, look, I know we're all excited, but let's stop making proclamations because we ain't that team yet, man. We are not that team yet. And I just saw something regarding our so-called defensive rating. So this site, I think, is a little bit. It doesn't update the way I like it. So I think sometimes like a game behind. But salute to everybody in the chat, man. Let me call everybody out, man. Mike Morgan, salute, man. CM, yeah, a lot of people think this is 2K, man. This is real life, bro. Adele Chapman, what would it do to get Porter, and what does he play? He plays with the guard, the 2-guard position. I don't know if it take much, but he has mental issues. I legit think he has mental issues. He needs to go and get help. I think it's a little bit larger than basketball. And I feel people have mental issues like that, man, because a lot of times you have people asking for money. People push them to play basketball. Even may not be their love. They may have been abused. They may have been touched funny, whatever, as a kid for attention. I really legit hope he gets help. And I'm not sure if getting into basketball so quickly is the right choice. What do you think of Victor Oladipo going to the Rockets and Karis LeVert going to Pacers? Well, praise to Karis LeVert. Salute to Indiana Sports Talk. Karis LeVert definitely has to take care of that mass on his kidney. Definitely nothing to play with. As for his fit on the team, he probably out for a different element from off the bench. Now they got Brogdon. No, he'd be starting. So they got Brogdon. I guess it theoretically would have been him. Let me see. Sim just texted me. All right, Sim says he's on his way. So he probably would have been in that slash role, kind of like Oladipo is. I didn't watch Karis LeVert a lot after that year with Atkinson, but I know he's improved his game a little bit. But I was looking at his stats really didn't move that much. I think his efficiency got better last year, but I haven't checked up on him in a while. Please, Try Bro, salute, man. Please, everybody hit the likes and subscribe to the channel, man, if you haven't already. Salute Gavin Kelly, salute, man. You don't got to be at 6, bro. Damn, man. Go play video games or something like that, man. Talk to that little cute girl at well, I don't know what type of school you guys have now, but talk to that little cute girl that no one talks to that you probably might be scared to talk to, man. I'm telling you, back in the day, man. If I had that confidence when I was in elementary, middle school, I guess you're in middle school, high school, man. Have that confidence, man. Be suave, man. Talk to some stupid chick and talk to about whatever you guys talk about now. What TikTok dances and crap. Ralph Jean Francois, salute. Sock Passe, man. Jaden Sammy, salute. Alvin Duarte, suit to CM too. Yeah, I agree, CM. It's a big no-no, man. You don't want to mess up. Not saying he'll mess up the chemistry, but he has issues. I'm not sure it would necessarily help. It might hurt him more than it would help us to bring the kid on if he's not mentally situated. Little H, salute, man. You got the Knicks over Warriors, man. I hope so too, man. But reality sets in. Jarrell Williams, salute. JNN, salute. Adele Chapman, salute, bro. Kenyon M, salute. Let's get to it. Joe Madden, salute. Iverson Vlogs, do you think my Suns can make the playoffs? Yeah, you guys are 7-5. You definitely can make the playoffs. I haven't watched any of the Suns this year. There was a weird article that says, like, does Chris Paul fit with that team or something? I thought he was having some success, at least early on. They made it seem like, you guys finally found the proper point guard and facilitator for your team. So I don't know. I haven't kept up with the Suns, but I'll definitely check up on them. Because again, Chris Paul is a guy that I wanted. I think he's the last of a dying breed in regards to pure point guards who have absolutely great court vision and can score and can do a little bit of everything offensively. So yeah. God knows Elijah, man. Salute. Alvin Duarte, yeah. Every dude, we should go back to high school with that. Yeah. If I had Patrice O'Neal lessons when I was younger, oh my gosh, Lord Jesus, the worst is when you meet these chicks like, oh my gosh, I have the biggest crush on you, and you never talked to him. Like, what? Like you were a mute. Like you never. You just smoke your pipe like that, man. Gavin Kelly, maybe in a little bit because I'm gonna have Sim on, and I don't want to overwhelm Sim with a lot of people, but maybe later. I'm gonna try to do a StreamYard tomorrow, talking about the Warriors and picking out some place for Knicks. I'm gonna do some of that stuff tonight. Just watch this Maryland Michigan game. But what happened to all the RJ Barrett to sit people? I just want to know what happened to all you guys. Every RJ Barrett to sit. And then people will say, oh, they should bring in Kevin Knox. Well, interesting. Can someone tell me what Kevin Knox did yesterday? I just want to know. What did Kevin Knox do yesterday that was so impactful when he wasn't scoring? One thing you say about RJ Barrett, you don't have to worry about, oh, is he trying to rebound? Is he trying to defend? Is he trying to create plays, assists for other guys? But Kevin Knox, we've been having this discussion for the 3 years. If he's not scoring, if he doesn't have his so-called confidence up, if he's not doing, what else can he do? So people say bring in a better balance. Okay, you have Kevin Knox. All right, let's talk about balance. Kevin Knox comes in for RJ Barrett. Now you have Elfrid Payton, who was hit or miss when you talk about facilitating. He dribbles deep into the shot clock. Can't do much of anything outside of operating with your boy Randall. Ignores Kevin Knox, by the way, for the most part, at least early on. When you look at the percentage of passes that Kevin Knox gets from players, at one point, Elfrid Payton was like the fourth most guy, and he's a point guard. Now, granted, obviously, sometimes Elfrid Payton is not on the court when Knox is there, but many times he is on the court, and Elfrid Payton's not looking for him. Because Julius Randle's also playing like the second most minutes, I think, believe, to RJ Barrett. Right, so you have Kevin Knox in there who can't create. His best asset or his best space right now on the court is in the corner. You have Reggie Bullock, who's not a plus passer or anything of that nature. And this guy who has been extremely inconsistent in finding shots during games, and has had a lot of stupid turnovers. So you have those two. You have those two guys who are kind of useless on the ball, and you have EP who only looks for Randall, and you have Mitch Robinson who's not going to get the ball to anybody else. Where's the balance you guys are talking about? I'll wait. Just tell me what the balance is. I'm just waiting. Where's the balance? And the thing about it is that I'm not even saying this now because RJ Barrett's doing well, but I'm just because that's how you guys think. Because even if RJ Barrett still wasn't doing good efficiency-wise, I'm still going to give him this year. And until whatever, unless they want to trade him before his rookie contract, I'm going to give him that time because you guys complain about, oh, with Fizdale, we had no development. With Fizdale, bro. Thank you, Nick G, for pointing this out. Fizdale was trying to run complicated things like the Spanish pick and roll, and our players were not taking to it. So that's how the thing. We don't even do research to see how these guys were operating. Now, when we win, it's praise Tibbs. But last week before the Celtics game, oh, Tibbs, I don't know if he's the right coach. He should get fired. Now everybody's praising Tibbs so much we go to playoffs. Knick fans, it's not just me. I'm not trying to point. I've been wrong about a lot of stuff, but at least put some homework into your thought. Don't let emotion. I'm not talking about everybody. Obviously, there are people out there who make better proclamations than I have. People way smarter than me. I don't consider myself that smart in the so-called Knicks, whatever, right? I'm just saying that be tempered in some of your emotional takes. One day, Thibodeau is God. Next day, Thibodeau should be fired. And even me, because I used to think that Thibodeau was just a defensive coach. Now, some things with Thibodeau, his rotations do need work. Where he's keeping guys out there. RJ played 38 minutes last night. I think against the Celtics, he played 28, I think it was, even though we were up by a lot, right? The Knicks fans, man. This is why EP can sit there and say, I don't care what he says. And he should say that. He should not care what we say. We're idiots compared to his coaches and all his advisors on the court. But Knicks fans, let's all collectively do research. When we have our opinions, let's do some research, right? What players have you seen? And there may be some players, but guys like Tracy McGrady did not look good in his first 2 years. Kawhi Leonard wasn't this barn burner in his first year. We like doing that. It's like we have no patience. We just put no lie. Okay, if RJ Barrett goes to the bench, your bench players are what? Guys who can score efficiently. RJ Barrett's not efficient. How's that helping him? The attention Randall takes away from RJ Barrett on the opposite side helps RJ Barrett. It helps quickly, when they're there, but quickly. At times it's helped quickly when you see quickly in a Randall at times. But let's stick on RJ Barrett. It helps RJ Barrett. So RJ Barrett goes to the bench. Who's he playing with? Rivers, Obi. Who's on the bench that he'd be playing with? Quickly's on the ball. You want RJ Barrett on the ball, get to Quickly, which I wouldn't mind because I think Quickly could shoot the ball well off the ball. But then Quickly, people love Quickly as his point guard. He's not Quickly as a combo guard, could do a little bit of both. He had that 8-assist game, yeah. Lou Williams had a 13-assist game, I believe, in 2013. Assists aren't the only indicator of a good passer. So we just, again, when I see RJ Barrett, I see him setting up plays. And I like, again, people said this, Rob has said this, and I've seen it, but Rob iterated, and I like using this. RJ Barrett is picking the spots on the floor a lot better. That when he doesn't have it, he's keeping his dribble and looking for the open man. And that's the same way, what's the name, developed Butler. Tibbs developed Butler. When RJ Barrett was shooting 9 shots a game, that was Tibbs saying that. Because remember, there's like one game, was it there's a game where we came back. It was it may have been the Jazz game where RJ Barrett had a bad first half, but he looked good in the second half when the game was no, it wasn't that. Was it the Jazz game? It may have been the Jazz game. Where after the game, Tibbs said, no, I like what I'm seeing from RJ Barrett. Tibbs knows what he's doing. He's making RJ Barrett, and he's making Knox. He's making all these guys who want to shoot threes. Obi Toppin as well. He's making those guys corner boys. Make your threes in the corner and expand from there. That's an extremely wise way how to develop these shooters, man. But let me get back to people. I want to pontificate here forever, man. Still waiting for Simmy's coming in. Rilla Crowley, salute, bro. Nudie 25, he says Suggs a bust, salute. And I still want Jalen Suggs, man. That's my guy. C-Mac, salute. RJ has to be the number 2 scoring option, or IQ do for him. Well, IQ gets stopped a lot too, because people y'all love praising IQ when he does good, but when he gets stopped by point guards, when he's got stopped in the zone, he can't break it. I see y'all guys a lot. Y'all very quiet. Y'all very quiet on IQ, and I like IQ, but let's temper on IQ, man. Let's temper on IQ, man. Heartbreak Nova, salute, Brody. Saucy Thanos, salute. JNN, salute. Nick fans want RJ Barrett on the bench so he can end up like Frank and Hawks wasted years. And then they be complaining about, oh, he never got the opportunity. You give him the opportunity now. Oh my gosh, shut him on the bench. What does that do for his confidence? If a guy's large, if he largely operates on intangibles, right? You don't think diving for balls, going for rebounds, which that's actually tangible because you can see the rebounds, right? Pushing the ball around, understanding his game. You want these guys to be more cerebral within a game. RJ Barrett, not saying he's going to be this perfect. The last 4 games look really good efficiency-wise, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen forever, but you want him to figure it out on the court versus take him in, put him out. Remember, y'all, all the Frankers. Remember what Jeff Hornacek did? Made Frank a 2-guard, took him out the line, and you confuse the kids. Then you look up and say, well, he could have been. And then when they suck, it's like, oh, well, he got ill development. Be patient. Lord Jesus, y'all Knicks fans, I love y'all, man, but holy crap. _H, salute, Brody. Knicks winning championship, your feelings? No. Splashing and cashing, salute. Who else I made? Jose Carmona, salute, man. Que lo que, man. Diga, man. Jason Swell, Curry about 13 points away from Reggie Miller. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And people underestimate that Warriors team, man. Trust me, that Warriors team is not something to sneeze at, man. We're a team that out-transition defense. I don't know where we rank, but we struggle with getting back at times. Now, I know we've been resetting a lot better within the half-court sets, but you talk about a team that likes to push it up the floor. And you talk about we don't play with pace because Randall gets tired because, he has to do so much on offense and, what if he can do on defense? So, Don Nix, tank for Cade. I don't think we need a tank this year, man. Theo Fletch, salute, man. Jessa Tiberius, salute. Don't let high school babes get you down. Oh yeah, not at all. I don't give a damn about my high school chicks. At least from the high school I went to. Yo, he's on to Gavin. Yeah, Gavin. All the high school chicks get you down, bro. Keep your head up, bro. Sim, salute to Sim.
What's going on, man?
Here late because he doesn't want to face the fire after he said RJ Barrett should go to the bench. So I'm gonna just let the chat kill him tonight. But welcome, Sim. How you doing?
I ain't worried about those numb nuts in that chat. I ain't worried about those numb nuts in that chat.
You see this?
And I never said that he should go to the bench. I just said it wouldn't bother me if he went to the bench or if he started.
Look at him. Look at Sim. Look at Simeon Russell trying to preface it now, trying to change reality. Look at him.
They all heard it. I've said it on your show. I said it on my show. They all heard it. They know.
This is disgusting, guys. I'm very disappointed in Sim, but we're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about RJ Barrett. We're going to talk about Obi Toppin, his development. We're going to talk about some IQ. And we're definitely going to be talking about the Warriors. Because I watched that Warriors game last night. If you guys thought that this is going to be easy, yeah.
Heck no.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Suit to everybody, man. Sim brown shirt and Sim a brown shirt. I don't play 2K, so I don't.
It's red, bro. This is a red shirt.
Yeah, red or burgundy. Sim don't want the smoke. Change up quick. Come on. Salute to Antoine White. Sim. Look, Sim is.
They already know. They can go back. It's all on video. I ain't. It's all on video. I've been said it don't matter to me. I straight up just said if he came off the bench, wouldn't have a problem with me. I like seeing him play with the young guys that that can help him open his game up. Don't matter to me who starts or who comes off the bench. I've said it plenty of times. So those numb nuts in the chat can say what they want. You could try to switch it around.
I'm letting the
Josh is the one who said I need him to come off the bench.
I'm letting.
I just said I don't have a problem with that. So it's all it is. What
freedom of speech, sir. I have not said anything yet. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. So answer me this, Sim. You are a coach. I guess it's a little bit different with younger kids, right? You probably coach a little different, right? So you don't see any difference when you talk about developing certain kids, given their skill set and tangibles. That some kids is like, all right, I know that you have some kids who just they're narrow-minded how they play. They're just scorers. They don't know anything else but scoring. And you're like, you know what? That's a microwave kid. I'm gonna put him on the bench, but I'm gonna give him a whole bunch of minutes. Versus, okay, this kid has to get warmed up. He's a cerebral guy. He feels out the game. You know what I mean? He's kind of like how Floyd Mayweather. If you guys, once he broke his hand, you guys follow boxing. He's a guy that gives you like 2 rounds to let him stalk him around, and he's stalking you the whole night. Go watch
the figure you out.
Sugar Shane Mosley fight where he almost got knocked, because he was right. So then he
figured you out. Yeah.
Yep. So, but you don't see that with a guy like RJ Barrett, where because people said, okay. First, people said that take him out of the lineup because you bring in such and such for better balance, right? But given the construct of our team, we really don't have. I'm not saying RJ Barrett is that yet, but we don't even have a potential secondary playmaker. If you say you bring in RJ Barrett for Kevin Knox, so you don't see that like having a starting lineup sometimes different from having a so-called lineup that closes or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, to me, it's all about lineups. It's never really about who's starting or who's coming off the bench. It's about lineups and who's at the end of the game. That's really what it's about to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's been plenty of times when I started players simply because they had one good skill, right? And I didn't know where else I was going to fit them in if I didn't start them from the beginning of the game. I didn't know how I was going to fit them in. All they could do was play defense, right? And, let's say I had like 7 guys and all they could do was play defense. And I didn't want to bring that person in off the bench because then we lose something. We lose that offensive, we lose offense bringing them off the bench. So I started them because, okay, he can fit with this group. Then I can bring these 2 guys in, so that we can, like in AAU, you got 16, 18, 20-minute halves, right? Depending on, your age group, stuff like that. So I start this guy, play this guy for, the first 5 minutes of the game. And then when I started to make some substitutions, I got a good offensive lineup for the rest of the game. And then, I can bring that person in doing some spot minutes here and there. I think it's all about lineups and how they fit together. Everyone thinks that you got to have your best players on the floor at the same time. And it's never that way. I mean, just look at Orlando. One of the best players comes off the bench in Terrence Ross. Right? You can't tell me that he wouldn't be a starter on some of the teams in the NBA. But they recognize his value as being someone who can come off the bench and add something to the bench. Because they have Vucevic and they have Aaron Gordon and normally they have what's his name, Fournier. Right. Where would his talents shine in that starting lineup? You know what I'm saying? When you talk about Terrence Ross, so they have him coming off the bench. And then because of rotation type of things, they still keep him coming off the bench, even though Evan Fournier is not there because, this is the role that he has. And it's like, why mess up that role when I can put someone else in that lineup and then let him come in and still do what he does and still give you 20. So, yeah, I mean, you look at players and you say, this guy is a loose cannon, but, he can come in and if he's hot, he's going to give you some buckets. And if he's not, he's probably not going to give you nothing. So I'm going to get him off the bench, but he might be one of the best scorers on the team. And then this guy, he's not really that great he's not prolific. Let's say that scorer, but he's not prolific, but he understands the game and certain nuances of the game that, you think benefits you, start the game off. So definitely it's like that. I think it's like that all the time. It's hard when it's on a national type of stage, I guess, when you got so many people looking and, then you have so many general fans that, it's just like, oh, this guy, at least with the Knicks, you either suck or you're good. There's no place in between, when it comes with the Knicks. So it's like, you're either starter caliber, but since you can't start five, you got to come off the bench. But at least you're starter caliber. You're either that or you're in China. So
I just feel like there's certain flows, right? When you and I've watched, bench bullies, guys like Ben Gordon, Harden when he was on OKC. Where they could come in. It's not necessarily microwave. It's just that they give you a different element. And they're doing so against so-called, I don't say backups. Obviously, sometimes they're playing against guys who are still in there from the starting lineup, the so-called stars, whatever. But they just provide you a different element against sometimes their weaker players. Relatively speaking, obviously sometimes they're playing against starting rotations. But the thing with RJ Barrett that I see is that, again, we don't have, when people talk about putting Kevin Knox, like I said, Kevin Knox is not going to do that. He's not going to rebound the way RJ Barrett does. And this is a 6'9" kid who, let's be honest, for the most part, he's in the corner. Like that's his, and I'm not hating on it. If that's his game, God bless him. But too many times, I've seen Elfrid Payton legit not be able, he just gets tunnel vision unless your boy Randall's there. And the funny thing is that when people are killing RJ Barrett, I hardly heard people say, well, what if we put such and such with RJ Barrett instead of Elfrid Payton? What would that look like versus having, Elfrid Payton there? Because again, Elfrid Payton takes up a lot of time. I understand Tibbs doesn't like to play with pace. But again, even within the so-called half-court sets, I've seen RJ Barrett make things happen at 15, 16 seconds still left on the clock. Elfrid Payton, I've seen him literally dribble it all the way down to 9 seconds, 7 seconds, then get the pick and roll, and literally right there, now you have to make the basket or hope for an offensive rebound if you don't make the shot. So to me, I just feel like there is better balance with RJ Barrett just because he does other things when he's not shooting. And again, I think Tom Thibodeau was the one that was telling him, hey, shoot the ball. Because again, I forgot which game it was, but it was a game where RJ Barrett had a not great first half, had a good second half, but it was basically when the game was in hand. It wasn't the Jazz. I can't remember what it was.
He hesitated instead of shooting the three. He kicked it over to Austin Rivers, who missed the three anyway.
No, not even that one. It was before that game, Sim. And Tibbs told him, he said, I like what RJ Barrett's doing. And people were like, huh? This dude shot like.
Listen, he's telling everybody, even Elfrid Payton, people are asking why he's shooting so much. I'm telling you, Thibodeau is telling everybody, shoot the basketball if it's a good shot. Elfrid Payton is averaging the most shot attempts he's ever averaged in his career, and it's by design, in my opinion. It's not because he just wants to come out and feels like, oh, I can shoot on this team. To me, it's by design. He's telling them, go to the basket, make yourself a threat. So that, now the thing with him, and I think he's gotten much better in the last 3 games, I'm going to say 3 or 4 games. Before we won, I think I mentioned this a couple of times, you could see him starting to he has a problem of getting in the paint, picking the ball up, and then he's surrounded by 3 trees and he's got to try to find a way to get it out. And he, turns it, he might get the pass out. But he might turn it over or be a sloppy pass because there's, something to be said about those passes being on point when it comes to a guy being able to shoot. Right. If the pass is just a little bit off, now you got to readjust yourself to get back in rhythm to shoot the basketball. The pass is right there in the pocket. Boom, you go up in rhythm and shoot the ball. And when he gets himself trapped, it's hard to get that pass accurate to somebody, even if they're cutting to the basket. He's done a much better job to, hitting the paint. And before that double team is coming, kicking it out. Right. And I think that somebody is. The whole coaching staff, I can see just different things that guys do and the way that their game is changing from the start of the season till now. I could just see little things that people do. Him and Julius Randle, With Julius Randle, I think they've worked on. He draws a double team, and sometimes still, he lets the double team get all the way to him before he's passing it out. Instead of they commit, and just as they commit, he sees that they commit. Now he gets the pass off. But I've seen a couple of times where he passed it a little bit too early before they committed, before they fully committed, and then it didn't work right away. So there's a way. You got to learn that perfect timing. Your best players have this perfect timing and saying, okay, boom, he fully committed. He's not all the way to me yet, so let me get it out my hands. And now that person has to stop, turn around, and go back. And I can see Julius Randle. I can see him trying to get that timing down, and I can see Elfrid Payton hitting the paint and looking to see, okay, can I get that kick? Or if the lane is there, take the lane. I can see the coach working on these guys with some of those type of things. You know what I mean? So I think that it's I think it's growing. It's just like with RJ. I feel like with RJ, one of the reasons I feel like that his shooting is better is someone sat down with him and said, when you shoot from this area, you're shooting this percentage. When you shoot from this area, you're shooting this percentage. In this area, you're shooting this percentage. Get to those spots and shoot that shot. Right? Because I see him deliberately go into certain spots before he shoots the basketball instead of just shooting it from wherever he is. And I think it's helping his shot attempts. You know what I mean? So that lineup, you were saying it last night, that first lineup, when you go to Basketball Reference, that's actually, the best lineup as far as, they have the lineups rated on Basketball Reference. The starting group is the best lineup as far as guys playing together. Part of that has to do with, just they played together last year too. Is this the first year that we've actually had a starting lineup that's been together from the year before? The first year in a long time.
Yeah, it might be because if you take wow. That's
ain't that crazy?
Holy crap. Wait,
this might be the first year that you've actually had a starting lineup that's come back together.
Since wow, because even after the Melo years, did they change up that?
Yeah.
That year after we lost to the Pacers?
The year after we lost to the Pacers, did it change up? I'm not sure.
With J.R. Smith, Carmelo. Because Kid was it, but Kid didn't start. No, Kid did start, right?
No, Kid retired actually after that. So I mean, that's not exactly the Knicks' fault. But
right. So he was there for 1 year. But I'm saying, okay, right. You're right. No, I'm saying the year before. Did he start the year before that year we got him?
I think he.
Wow.
I think he started. I think he did start.
Either way,
it's been a long time since we've had an actual lineup come back. And so of course that plays a little bit into it.
Oh crap! That is just
that is right. But yeah, I think Tom Thibodeau is telling them shoot the ball. I was telling someone, you might have heard it today. We were talking about. I think it was Mark was saying, tell RJ to stop shooting so many, not tell him, but he doesn't want him to shoot so many threes. And I'm like, but he's not shooting bad threes. I could see if he was coming up off the dribble and shooting a three. He hardly ever shoots a three off the dribble. He hardly ever shoots a three off of someone sets a screen. All of the threes that he shoots are someone kicking it out to him and, he's open. So you don't tell him to stop shooting that, because then if he takes a dribble and a step in, that's a worse shot. Right?
Yeah,
right inside the 3-point arc. I mean,
I saw he gets more lift from the mid-range shot when he drives, steps into it and takes a shot. Even when he made I think it was against the Celtics. It was one where I think it was the Celtics I think it may have been Celtics. And this dude is concentrating so much on hitting that corner three. I saw him bite his tongue He like kept it out like, oh, like I think
Yeah.
he made it. And then you see him, he does a weird thing where like he plants his right foot squarely on the ground, but then he like arcs his left foot, which is a really weird thing, which is different from what I saw when they the so-called changes this summer from Drew Hanlon. You know, if you look at that first game, even though he missed those 2 threes in that first game, the preseason game, you know, it was really sharp. You know, the lift and everything was like, it was perfect. So again, he has to get back to get some big. So maybe Thibodeau say, hey, look, go with what worked a little bit last year, mix it up where maybe your stance or whatever may not be there. The form might be there, but just worry about, you know, such and such. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. Again, shooting that corner three definitely helps for RJ Barrett. And again, I think that he can be a secondary playmaker for the Knicks. Have to see a little bit more. I want to see him again against a myriad of different defenders. He's going to play against Kelly Oubre. I know Kelly Oubre is suffering right now, not doing great right now, even though he's kind of recovering offensively. He's still a good defender, and he's a pesky, annoying defender as well too. So that would be really interesting to see how RJ Barrett. Another thing with RJ Barrett, and I think they're working on him, is that finishing at the rim. You know, yesterday I thought it was great where he had this one play. He was driving almost with his right and then came with his left and looped it in. He on some Jordan hand things. I was like, "Oh, who's this guy?" Yeah.
I remember that.
And that was spicy. You know what I mean? You know, super to Nas because someone's like, "Oh, spicy." Right. That's like my favorite song off the album. But you know, RJ Barrett also, when you see him finishing at the rim, it's a lot more like his hand. You know what I mean? Because many times they teach, you know, when you see people like they'll do a finger roll like 5 feet almost away from the backboard, and they mess up the angle. Versus now you're seeing RJ Barrett get a lot closer to the backboard and just hitting it clean off the rim. Versus before he'll push off, you know, he'll pick up his dribble, push off, and then he's like trying to and he misses. Right. So that's another thing that they're working on. And again, look, is a work in progress. You know, I know that people saying G League. Like, I'm like, guys, we complained for how many years about these guys not developing players? They're developing players. Do you guys think that when they so-called develop players, these guys are going to be shooting 50 and 40 from the court? 50, 40, 90, or just automatic? No. Development is ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It takes a while, but you can see it. You can see it with the players, you know, that they're learning. They're just learning different things. And the coaching staff is actually teaching them and helping them get better in certain areas, you know. And I had some people mad at me this morning.
Oh, Lord.
Right. You know, because I told them, I said, listen, you know, people was like, oh, pay, they were like, pay is okay for now. Obviously, when you win, people are going to say that, right? He's okay for now. But, you know, by the deadline or next year. And I was like, listen, don't be surprised if he's here next year.
Oh.
I was like, I'm telling you, even if you bring in a starting caliber point guard, do not be surprised if he's here next year. Because the one thing I really do, listen, Tom Thibodeau likes him. If you guys haven't seen that by now, then you've I mean, I put out the video the other day, you know, why is Elfrid Payton still starting? And everything, all the words came from Tom Thibodeau. They didn't come from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he explained it. He broke it down and said, this is why I love Elfrid Payton, because someone asked him, what do you see from Elfrid Payton as he's in the starting lineup? And Emmanuel Quickly, that's in the second unit. He was like, I love both players. And he broke it down and said, this is why I like Elfrid Payton out there. And he ended off by saying, I love Payton. Right. That's how he ended it off. I would not be surprised if he's here, even if they get a starting point guard. Don't be surprised if he's here, because this regime and Tom Thibodeau, to me, they like consistency. Right. So you bring in another point guard, you know, let's say it's a Kyle Lowry or Mike Conley or Lonzo Ball, whoever comes in. Right. I think they're still going to want some consistency coming back. Right. And Elfrid Payton seems to be the type of guy that doesn't, you know, he'll be okay if he's coming off the bench, if he's starting or whatever it is. Don't be surprised if he is back with the team, just like this year. Oh, man. It was always determined that he was coming back. It was in the books that he was coming back. That was the plan, regardless of who they got. Elfrid Payton was coming back.
Oh,
Why else? Think about it. The Knicks didn't, and I think the contract that he was coming back for was already predetermined. By the time that they were signing Elfrid Payton, the Knicks knew that they weren't getting anybody else. And he still accepted a $5 million contract down from $8 million. And now the Knicks got $18 million just sitting there that they can use.
who
right?
was giving Elfrid Payton $8 million? Oh, he was.
Huh?
No one was giving him money.
But what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is it was predetermined. Right? It was predetermined that, yeah, this guy is coming back. And I wouldn't put it out the question of him coming back next year. That's all I'm saying. Especially if Austin Rivers continues to do what he's doing.
Oh, you mean disappearing and messing up games? Definitely, yeah. Austin Rivers. But that was your guy, Sim. Don't do this now, Sim.
He was my guy. I thought, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I thought that he was gonna come in and eventually, when he got healthy from his groin injury, become the starting point guard. I don't even want to say point guard, but lead guard. I really thought he was gonna do that. I was like, yo, he's probably entering the prime of his career, and maybe he's going to be playing the best that he's ever played. And I was straight up wrong about that. Well, because I'm looking at him, I'm like, come on, what's going on?
He's a streaky player. So, again, he's going to give you microwave games. You want to be a little more consistent. At least give you 2 threes a game or something. The dude is still missing.
I mean, but he's not going to take over that starting spot.
No.
It's not happening. He's going to give us some good games. He's not taking over that starting spot. So if Frank Ntilikina is gone, right? Assuming, I mean, he's not in. Dennis Smith Jr. He's a ghost.
Yeah,
right. Dennis Smith Jr. is a ghost out there. At least Frank Ntilikina is injured, and there's some question as to what's going to happen when he comes back. Dennis Smith Jr. is back, and he's not seeing the light of day.
Chuck, okay. You hear that, Chuck? Where you at, Chuck?
I mean, it's weird because I'm looking at them, when people are running off the court, they're slapping hands, they're slapping Dennis Smith Jr.'s hand, they're slapping Theo Pinson, they're slapping Iggy Brasdegas, and they're all, sitting next to each other on the bench. That's their little clique now. Dennis Smith Jr. found a new clique. Those guys that sit on the bench always got their own little clique, and when the cameras ain't looking, they go and argue like, man, I should be out there, all of that kind of stuff, except for maybe Theo Pinson. So
Theo Pinson knows where his bread is buttered. He's not going. He's happy. He's just happy to be on the court, to be somewhere around basketball players.
Right.
But salute to everybody in the chat, man. Just want to say a few shout outs, man. Salute to Richard Kuster, Chris Hempard, David Parker, Tone Wu. I saw you on Man's the Knicks, man. Salute, bro. Charles B. We know you ducking because you ducked most of the game and said you woke up at 12:30. Come on, bro. Al Powell, salute. Devonair Porter, Don, salute. Eric Falcon, salute. Ronald Miller, salute, man. Salute. Simba Singh, Darley, salute. New Knicks, salute, man. Yeah, we in here with Simeon Russell taking back his RJ Barrett should go to the bench. Please, guys, kill him in the chat. Destroy him as he does other places. Destroy Sim. You have him in my court. Destroy Simeon Russell as you have him here before he goes back to the NBK Empire. Salute to Harris Ashard. Salute to Pedro Mass. I'm only joking, by the way. Jack Harlow, salute. Pastry Cigar, salute to everybody, man. Let's get to your boy Obi Toppin. Now, yesterday.
No, I'm sorry. Simeon Elfrid Russell. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something, man. First of all, tell Elfrid Payton he can come to my gym. I got a shoot machine there. Those guys on Lawrence Chairs, they saw it the other night. You know what I'm saying? He can come work on that shoot machine. That shoot machine helps you get arc on your shot. You know what I mean? Get a little arc on your shot.
He said he's not
listening. Huh?
He said he's not listening to it, so he's never going to hit us. He said he's not listening to us.
Oh, yeah, he did say that. You're right. He did say that. I know. And then, listen, what do you expect from a guy named Elfrid? His name is mad old. His name is Elfrid, folks. Come on.
Parents, man, y'all are evil, man. Y'all do this. Y'all be doing this on purpose. Why would you name your son you said what? Where's the beauty in Elfrid?
That's not even right.
You know what I mean? Freedy, wow, Elfrid. I feel bad, bro. I feel bad for him.
That's bad. Come on, Elfrid. Why would you? I mean, that's like a name from the 60s or something.
Like a Bible name, like Alfred, Malachi. You know what I mean? Like you don't do that to your kids, man. Give them Chris. John. Something.
Something.
Get through life. Thank God he was a basketball player. Because imagine him not being a basketball player. That Nate Alfred. Holy crap,
right.
Jesus, a lot of problems. Suter, who's marked, by the way, man. And Suter Delano still Jr., man. Apologies for missing you. GXW Classic. Salute, bro. Salute. Anthony Alvarado, Benny Prince. Salute, man. Yeah, we in here. So let's get to your boy Obi Toppin now. Obi Toppin didn't have a great game yesterday. He only had 2 points. Didn't do much. He was a 1 for 3 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. Only played 9 minutes, 1 rebound, 1 assist. But I was watching some things from the Celtics game. Now, obviously, that was a game where he kind of went off. He did his thing. I believe he had 13 points in that Celtics game. Let me check real quick. I think he had 13 points. I think he had a few threes. Yeah, he played 17 minutes, 12 points, 12 or 4 from 3, 5 for 8 from the field, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. But I looked at some things that he was doing on the court, and I again, Tom Thibodeau, I think, is trying to develop him as a guy who has that perimeter skill. So when people say, why is he taking 11 shots or how many shots from 3? Again, Tom Thibodeau's making these guys, I call them, as corny as it sounds, the corner boys, get in the corner, shoot those threes. He did shoot a 3 from the wing in the Celtics game as well, too. But I found a play where I was like, wow, I love what they're doing with him development-wise, where they're having him, like, remember when we were talking about Sabonis and how Sabonis just his bread and butter, even though they're trying to play a little bit like how they play Siakam, handoffs from the top of the key, drive to the basket, shoot the 3 as well. But one thing that Sabonis does a lot is those constant picks. And Nick G will like this because it's not Spanish pick and roll, but how saucy it looked is so beautiful if you can run this effectively. So I just want to get your take first before I show. Like, what's your take on Obi Toppin's so-called development and how Tom Thibodeau is kind of utilizing within the games?
I'd like to see him utilize him a lot more to begin the screen and roll than to be the second guy. Normally when Elfrid Payton, when Emmanuel Quickly is out there.
You see? Oh my gosh, man.
When Emmanuel Quickly is out there, it starts off with either Mitch or Norland's Noel doing the screen and roll, and then, Obi's out on the perimeter. I want to see him be the initiator in that screen and roll, because obviously Mitch can get up in the air too, but I still feel like Obi Toppin sets better screens. And so because he sets better screens, that screen and roll is going to be more effective. Right. And you'll be able to see, you see him create some of that vertical space and get up in the air, like we've seen I think it was against Boston. We've seen it one time against Boston. Now I'm not, I think that he will be a decent 3-point shooter when it's all said and done. He has, great arc on his shot. He shoots the ball high. He shoots it confidently. It's not like he's afraid to shoot it. I see that he's spacing his feet apart better. When he is shooting the 3, before he used to have his feet really, really close together, but he's spacing his feet apart better. So, I don't have any problems right now. Now, those Boston commentators was making me mad because I was watching NBA TV, but Obi Toppin was in the game, and he was trying to go one-on-one a little bit, and he was out on the perimeter, and the way he looked, he's kind of hunched over and he's trying to make a move, and Brian Scalabrine was like, "What the hell is this?" I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "Oh man," he doesn't have enough one-on-one moves to isolate him or anything like that. So you're not giving him the ball when the shot clock is running down, to create a shot, and you're not giving him the ball in the post unless he's deep in the post, I think. But I'm cool. I just, I don't mind him being out there. I just want to see him initiate that screen and roll a little more often.
Yeah, I agree. But I will say one thing. I think hopefully he masters it where he could do that baseline drive, right? Where he kind of like gets under the defender and kind of uses I guess his upper back to kind of get leverage, push him out, and then make that little layup. And he tried to do that. He got called for out of bounds. I think it was against the Celtics. I think he tried to, or was it Celtics with Matt? I can't remember which one. Got called out of bounds, but I've seen him during the preseason. Phil McGee. So definitely the parts of his game that developed. But I want to just show one where it was just constant screen, rescreen, and it's so beautiful. I was like, oh, it almost brought a tear to my eye because I won't say it lulled the Celtics to sleep, but it definitely caused confusion where they recognized the play way too late. And I think it was the full design of it. So I'm just show it real quick. And obviously it's the one where he got the pass for the dunk, the explosive dunk. But before the dunk happened, I thought there was just a lot more that happened that made that play so beautiful. So hold on, let me see. Is it this one? Yeah, it might be this one. So I don't have the volume playing. Hopefully you guys can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Oh no, that's the 3-point. Hold on, I apologize for that. Shoot, it might be the next one. Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah. All right. So you see quickly, and I think the design the whole time, because even how he gave the pick to I believe that's Knox was kind of lazy, right? And he rescreened and cuts down. And it's like, and I think his original guy was 36. So the guy that was originally on Obi, no, not 36, is this guy. I can't see what the hell that is. It might be Williams. Got stuck. And it's like the rescreen, like that constant screening. That first game that we played against Sabonis, that's all Sabonis was doing. That's all Sabonis does, right? So I think that Tom Thibodeau, when people talk about, how is Obi developing? Like, Tom Thibodeau's running his stuff, guys. Just be patient. There are things I don't like Tom Thibodeau in regards to sometimes his pace, his stubbornness on defense, the things I complain about. But when we say stuff like fire him or, and salute to Andy Dunbar, man. But he said, how's Tom Thibodeau developing these guys? Well, that's how he's doing it. We as Knicks, we're so starved for like development, and we're so starved for like other play. Oh, all these other guys that we mentioned, for the most part, 90% of them, it took them years to develop, getting put in certain ways, using them in certain ways to see, okay, they can do this, they can't do that. You know what I mean? Let me just get your opinion on it. Like, do you, and also with the shoot, do you think they're trying to set up Obi Toppin so he can play with Randall potentially? Because use him out of perimeter a lot. You know what I mean? Randall's going to be playing that pinch post, high post. He's going to be in that area facilitating the ball. If he could play with Obi, pick and roll, pick and pop, swing it to Obi on the corner, swing it to Obi on the other wing.
Yeah, I do think that they're probably looking to set it up so that they can play together sometimes, because when you talk about them going small, at times to play against, teams that have bigger centers or whatever. And if they want to go small, those are going to be the two guys that you're going small with, right? Right. With they've done it with Knox when Obi was out. But I think they'd rather do it with Obi because he's a little bit, bigger body, a little more active around the boards and all those type of things. So if they can start to create some sets where both of them can work well together, right? You develop Obi so that he can be outside shooting the ball. I think he has the potential to shoot it better than Julius Randle. Julius Randle, I guess, is shooting about 34% from three right now, but he probably has the potential, I think, to be a high 30, 37, 38%. Obi Toppin, I'm talking about, right? So, I think they are probably developing them to do that because, when you look at that play right there, I'm not exactly sure where Kevin Knox ended up being, but it looked like he was probably popping to the 3-point line. And then on the secondary screen, Obi was the one that was going to be going to the basket, right? Mm-hmm. You would see the same thing with Randall. Randall might pop a little bit more to, the elbow area, something like that. But he can pop to the 3-point line too. So look, Kevin Knox popped over to the wing.
Sorry, I was trying to get it at the right.
Yep. So when you look at it, Kevin Knox, he sets he didn't even set the screen really. I guess he couldn't. He would have gotten an offensive foul, but he popped over to that screen. He set the first screen, and then he popped over to the wing while Obi to open up the lane for Obi Toppin. So I do think that they could be setting him up to play with Randall a little bit more.
Yeah. Now, and I said this before, and this is Coach Colorblock's suggestion, which I might be agreeing with. They try to play him at the 3. Now again, that's ugly, but again, you playing Rand on Obi, that front court defense is just not going to be. It's not going to be good.
I still can't. I still can't see him unless you're gonna have try to have Randall guard the 3. Maybe you're gonna try to do that. He did a good job against Kevin Durant. I mean, obviously he didn't stop Kevin Durant.
Right.
Right.
No,
no one's stopping KD, but he did a pretty good job playing defense against Kevin Durant. Yeah, I will give him that. And, I mean, but you don't want to have Julius Randle running around off screens like he was chasing Kevin Durant. I was like, yo, he's chasing him hard, but you don't want, first of all, it's going to be tough for him chasing these guys. He did lose some weight, though, a few pounds. He's a little thinner. It's going to be tough for him chasing these guys. And he's going to pick up a couple of offensive fouls doing it because he's going to knock over some guys who are setting screens. You know what I mean? And so he's going to pick up a couple of offensive fouls doing it, most likely. But if you were doing it, I would have Randle guard the opposing 3-man. If that's what he was trying to do, if he was trying to have Obi, Randle, and Mitch out there on the floor, I'd probably have Randle guarding the opposing 3-man as opposed to Obi because he's a better defender than Obi. Moves his feet better on defense than Obi.
He does, but then, Randle could get tired.
He could. Yeah, I know. He could get tired. You know what I'm saying? He could get tired. But I'm just saying, if that's what they were going to do, put him out there at the 3, then, you'd probably want Randle defending whoever the 3-man is. Now, I guess it's going to depend on who it is. But still, you're probably going to have Randle defending him. Do you think when the Knicks start to play the LeBrons and the Kawhis and those guys, Randle was on. He was on KD. Do you think he's going to put Randle on LeBron, Randle on Kawhi? Those guys aren't as prolific as KD.
I can see Kawhi because Kawhi operates a lot in the post. But he can hit the shine transition, so he's gonna get that free spot on Randle. On you just mentioned Kawhi and
LeBron.
LeBron.
I mean, I can see LeBron. LeBron is LeBron, and he's still good, but he's not like gonna just blow past you and shake you up and do all. I mean, he kind of has the same kind of style as Randle as far as not being real like super athletic and like that, just kind of bull you over a little bit,
right?
It's kind of like that,
right? If you can stay in front of him, because LeBron James, again, he's a not saying he's not explosive, but I've seen sometimes he takes plays off. So sometimes he pass off and just stay in the perimeter. This is a guy, I'm not saying he can't beat Randle, but I think Randle can stay in front of him. Decent enough. As long as Randle doesn't have to run around for anybody else, I think he could be fine. But again, it's LeBron James. LeBron James is a guy he'll pass up to other guys and make plays. The biggest concern in that game would probably be, you double teaming or trying to crowd the center with AD. That would probably be the best. Where Randle will have to expend energy doubling or So I don't know, but LeBron James, I don't know. He doesn't scare me like that, but LeBron James obviously is a Hall of Fame player. He's still playing at a high level, but defensively, he has become a better shooter. But again, when we talk about spots, again, he likes to pull up with his left. He likes to take the step back, pull with his left. He's a streaky player, so I think Randle might not be. Now, Kawhi, depending on which Kawhi you get, he might give Randle the business. It's just Kawhi when he's healthy, but.
Right.
I've also seen Kawhi also have not the greatest efficient games or not the most prolific games. So it depends. I guess it depends on the night, but anything is so-called possible. Now, people were killing me and asked me, what are we going to do with Wiggins and Oubre tomorrow? Oh, Thursday.
That's going, well, clearly, let me see. Who are they starting? What is their line? I don't even know what the lineup is.
They got Pascal, I believe, starts. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. They have Pascal, Curry, Oubre. I think they started Wiseman. He played like 22 minutes, I believe, last night. Hold on. Warriors starting. So Curry, Pascal, Oubre, Wiggins. No, Curry, Pascal. I think Draymond started. Hold on. Let me just get the stupid lineup.
Let me see. I think I got it here.
You got it?
It looks like Curry, Oubre, Wiseman, Draymond, and Wiggins.
So Pascal's come off the bench. All right. I don't know why I say Pascal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that team. And yesterday I was watching it. Curry wasn't the. I mean, Curry had 26 points, but he shot 3 for 12 from three. And he was 8 for 22. So
Yeah.
he had some flash plays, but and the Lakers got a little bit lazy in regards to perimeter defense because you had Wiggins make some big shots. You had not Brian. Who was the dude with that? I saw a dude with like light skin dude with braids. Is it D Lee? He had one shot.
Damian Lee. Yeah, Damian Lee. Yeah.
Damian Lee hit a shot. And Wiseman didn't play much. Only had 13 minutes. I think he was out for like the majority of the fourth quarter. I remember Wiggins making plays, driving to the basket. Pascal was great off the ball. I mean, he only shot 1 3, missed it. But when you talk about off the ball and then feeding off of Curry, when Curry did that little, hezzy on AD, the pass was to Pascal cutting down low. So again, Curry, they have a bunch of weapons young weapons. I don't say they're weapons like that, but young weapons that they stay in games. They can play decent defense. So I'm not sleeping on them. Now, a guy like Wiggins, is such a weird player, man. So I think he's just expectations messes up. We always wait for him to like take over.
Right.
And he really doesn't. Even though, 18, he was 7 for 11 last night, 3 for 5 from the field. From 3, excuse me. But him and Oubre, again, Oubre's another guy. I think he's starting to get a little bit hot. He shot 2 for 8 from 3 last night, was 9 for 18 from the field. And he's playing really good defense. So I'm not sure. Would you put RJ? Do you put RJ on Oubre? And then
I don't know. I'm not sure how they use each player. Do they use Kelly Oubre coming off of a lot of screens? I think if they're using it, whichever guy comes off of a lot of screens between those two, I think Reggie Bullock is probably better suited to defend them than RJ.
Okay, let me check my synergy machine that was used to destroy Chuck a few years ago. Let me see. They do for pick and roll. So I don't really know much about it. So I was watching some highlights. They do run a lot of off-ball screens. So there's one for Pascal that I saw where they ran it where Pascal set the pick, but it's such a motion that you don't even realize that Pascal set the pick. So he set the pick and then cut as I think Curry got the ball, and then they made the pass to Pascal down low. So hold on, let me. I think I have the highlights here. Yep, yes I do. So just to show it. So I think they probably run Wiggins a lot because I've seen Oubre at the perimeter a lot to take a lot of shots from outside. Hold on, just give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm gonna get this quick clip. I see one when they hand off to Oubre. ISO drives to the basket, makes it. But yeah, would you put Bullock, I guess, as a better defender on Oubre and have Arden Wiggins, given that Bullock right now is probably the better on-ball defender or better pick and roll defender as well than.
Yeah, see, I just, when I talk about the guy who's coming off screens, I feel like Bullock is a little bit faster than RJ and getting around those screens and can do a better job getting around those screens than RJ does, in my opinion. No matter what happens, they're all going to end up switching off and playing defense on, someone else. But, my initial matchup, I'd like to have Bullock playing the guy who's coming off screens the most. I don't know how much, how many screens. They're going to run a lot of screens anyway, but.
Oh, yeah. I believe they still have the number one pace in the NBA. Like, look at this pass. I mean, they ran another pass like this where Pascal set the pick, but they handed it off to, I'm trying to find, it's in the first half, and they passed it off to whoever the ball handler was. I think it was Curry. It is a pass we got. Oh, it wasn't Pascal. It was Oubre. So Oubre moves off ball as well, too. Apologies for that. I think it was this play. Hold on. Oh, no, it's not. But it was in the first half. It was really impressive. But, yeah, this is going to be – again, this is one of the things, is this where Tom Thibodeau's stubbornness kind of hurts him, where we don't play a zone?
It could because, listen, you're going to have Julius Randle guarding Draymond, who is, someone who handles the ball a lot. Mm-hmm. Right, bringing the ball up, does a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's not that Draymond is gonna beat him off the dribble and do all those type of things, but Julius Randle's got to do a lot of work and has got to be really attentive on defense because of what Draymond does. You know what I'm saying? So, that adds an extra element to his game. Any game, when you got to work on defense and then you got to work on offense, can make the game tough for you. I don't know why he's not trying to zone anyway. There's a few games where I would have tried and played some zone. Doesn't have to be zone the whole game, but there are a few games, especially when we were down men and we were playing with 8 guys. I would have tried some zone, but maybe he's just, he's got that old school belief, because I do when I'm coaching. Before, there was one year when I first started coaching my girls team, and they were all freshmen, and we were really, really bad. We were real bad. We won one game the entire season. We played about, no lie, we played like 40 games, and we won one game the entire season. And we were just bad because none of the girls knew how to play. None of them knew how to play basketball. We was getting smacked up and down. The worst game that we played, and I took the team, and people were like, yo, why are you taking this team? I'm like, yo, we need the experience. We need to learn how to play. We went to this big tournament in Atlanta, an Adidas tournament, 300 teams there. And we played this team from Wisconsin, a whole bunch of white girls. And no offense to anybody, but man, they blew us to smithereens. It was bad. And they were all 8th graders. Now, they did go to the championship in like the 9th grade division. You know what I'm saying? They were playing in the 9th grade division. They went to the championship against their 9th grade team. You know what I'm saying? This team from Wisconsin. And I think the 9th grade team won the championship over their 8th grade team, but still, they smoked us. The first game we got there, you know what I'm saying? And all the girls, they were looking around because the gym had, 50 courts in it. And, and you seen, who was it? Candace Owens or whoever it was. Candace Owens, Candace Parker. Not Candace Owens, Candace Parker, up all over the place. And so they're all like wide eyed and all that stuff. And we got smoked. And then the last game we played there, we played a team from the area, and we got smoked against them. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the season, when I talk to parents, they're like, why won't you play zone? Why won't you play zone? And I'm explaining to them, I'm like, right now, the girls don't know how to play. So for us to play zone, I understand what you're saying. Play zone, because it might help us win right now. I'm like, but they got to learn the principles of man to man first. Learn those principles first. Even if we're getting smacked, we got to learn those principles, because even when you're playing zone, it still comes down to man principles when that person is in your zone. You're still playing man to man. So, if you have aspirations of these girls going to play in college or something like that, they've got to play man to man first, and they got to understand those principles. Right. So, I would just harp on those principles. We'd be getting smacked and people like, go zone, go zone. I'm like, and people yelling it, and I would just continue to stay man. Finally, when we got to our junior year, I started to use some zone because they understood those man-to-man principles. We became a good man-to-man team. We became a much better team. We actually won a couple championships. Finally, after getting smacked around for a couple of years, like we got smacked around bad. I mean, we lost some games by 60, man. We got smacked around real bad. And it was hard, to go through it too, what I'm saying? Because then they're girls, after the games, they're crying and even when we had some close games, it felt like we could win. I mean, boys cry too, but it was 2 tough seasons, and then, but we got better. We added more talent. We got better, but I didn't just straight out go zone. I focused on that man-to-man defense. Maybe it's the same thing with Tom Thibodeau right now. He wants to just build those man-to-man principles, maybe.
I think,
and it's tough because like they're in the NBA, and you figure they supposed to have these principles anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just amazed. I know AAU is terrible, but you're telling me y'all never played communication? Proper switching. peeking, help out the guy, then getting back on your man. Like, yeah,
because this is the thing in the NBA, in the AAU, it's all about winning. It's all about winning. So a lot of times there are teams that like they play all these, there's a lot of trapping in AAU, like a lot of trapping. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of zones, half court zone traps, full court zone traps. And so, and you got teams who play all game. I mean, I do that too, but I make sure my guys understand the principles first. If I see we don't understand the principles of just straight up man-to-man defense, then I'll say, you know what, we're gonna learn this first. But they put together players, and they got all these defenses in, and they utilize the guys' talents and their speed and athleticism to get steals and get on the fast break and do all of that stuff. But they never learn how to play help side defense, help the helper. You know what I'm saying? How to defend a screen and roll. They never learn those real basic principles talking on defense. They never learn it because they're always trapping and trying to get steals. And then, that's what they learn. They learn how to get steals, and do those type of things.
Oh, little fundamentals, excuse me. Little fundamentals are taught, man. I hear horror stories about AAU, man. In terms of like, it's whoever is the big time guy. He's getting the ball 50, 60, 70% of the game. Let him do his thing. No defense. It's just trash. Yeah,
I mean, and it's like there's barely. I mean, you go and you play some tournaments where you see some coaches who are really, really good and really do teach players how to play. And this is a lot of movement and this and that. But a lot of teams are just putting talent together and trying to press. That's it. Put the talent together, press other teams out the building and run up the score, but never really play basketball. Mm-hmm. Yes. And so then when they go to college, the college coaches have to start to teach them how to play basketball.
That's if they stay there.
And then, that's if they stay there. So, right. So many players just going into the league off of just straight talent alone and never really learn all those little things that's why sometimes when it comes to AAU, like I always put my team try to put them in one or two leagues because the leagues become a little bit different than playing just tournaments. Because when you play in leagues, it'd be a 10-team league or something like that. And, you play each team twice, and so now, you really do have adjustments. You watch the other guys play, you have some adjustments that you're going to make, and you play the game a little bit differently than just playing in a AAU tournament. Right. You know what I mean? Because, in the tournament, you're trying to win the championship. So you do everything that you can to win that game. Because if you don't, then you might be eliminated. Then you're eliminated from championship contention. So it's like, everything that you do is just towards winning. Yep. It's just towards winning, not learning, but when you go into leagues, you can do a little bit more just trying to learn throughout the season. Because normally in those leagues, every team makes the playoffs. Right. So, you can play around and try to help teach the guys the game or the ladies the game. And then when you get into the playoffs, do what you got to do to win. So I like to get the teams in the leagues. But yeah, there's little teaching going on that AAU level for a lot of programs. Some programs there's teaching and, I mean, I will say, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm not, anybody who's white that's listening, I'm not racist or anything, but sometimes there's differences. The white teams come in with a lot of fundamentals. I ain't even gonna lie.
I was trying to take some more tears, man. My simple life of intramural after college, trust me, my cousins, we would literally we could run on any team. When we play these white teams that come in, they play that zone 3-2. I'm telling you, man. Boxing one, we're like, what the F? It's like, now we could catch him. And you look up, it's some fat lawyer who's hit like 3 threes. They got one dude who's okay, who's not even that good, and a bunch of other role players. And you look at that like, wait, how the hell are we losing by like?
How are we losing? Yeah, exactly. I mean, in AAU, man, those white teams come in and they don't have all that athleticism. You know what I'm saying? So they come in with all these fundamentals and understanding, knowing how to play the game. And they got all these calls and the coaches calling out every single player. They're calling out something new. You're like, geez, what's going on over there? Like, what are they doing? And they just play a different style of game because that's the style that they got to play. And you turn around and you're getting smoked.
Yep.
Getting smoked by them.
Even though there was one dude, I think he was taking steroids. I get on my cousin. My cousin Renazinga used to play for LIU. He didn't start much, but he's nice. And this is one dude. One dude got me to because he shot like Larry Bird, like wasn't quick enough, and he just shoots all the way over there. So you're defending him, you can't get it. But there's one dude we call him Jimmer Fredette because he looked a little bit like Jimmer Fredette. But he looked like he's on steroids. He was just gunning from 3, and he'll get back zone 2-3-3. You're like, yo, what the heck is it? And my cousin is nice. That's the only time I've ever seen my cousin. My cousin, when he's laid back, that's only time I've ever seen him flush. You mentioned Jimmer Fredette. If I mentioned that, he would want to punch me in my face. Like that's the only game in his life I've seen somebody drop like a solid. I think that guy had like a solid 30 where he was shooting Steph Curry range. I'm like,
yeah.
I was. If you see my cousin play, he'll kill anybody. But
I was in one of my leagues, man. We were 8-2. We swore up and down that we were going to the championship. And the 2 games we lost, we didn't have all our players there, right? Because whatever, we didn't have our guys. We swore up and down we were going to the championship. First round of the playoffs, we were the 2nd seed. And, we played this old white team. All right. The oldest guy on the team was this guy that we called Doc. He's about 6'6". He wasn't really that good. Everybody just liked him. He was just cool. But, they had an old team. And they, walked the ball up the floor. Pass it. I mean, there's no shot clock. Pass the ball about 20 times, and then somehow, some way, get a layup in the lane, and we have no idea how they got it. They beat us by like 15 and eliminated us in the first round of the playoffs. I was so hot.
Mm-hmm.
I was so hot, and I'm like a hothead when I play in a league situation. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm like really, stand down like some of my own players, like in. I'm not like I'm going to be straightforward, be like, yo, you are turning the basketball over.
Yep.
You need to get that under control. Sometimes players like it, sometimes players don't like it, but I can't help it. I want to win. And I was hot. I could not believe that we lost to those guys, man. But they just played regular basketball, and our guys were, wilding out, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They just played regular basketball.
And when you don't know what to do, a lot of times people we think sometimes, I don't want to say we, but people I play with, some of the black guys I play, is that they think that is just go harder. No, it's like, no.
Yeah, it's not. Right.
They're playing a 3. And I remember, we was against a black team or a mixed team. Black team, there's like one white dude who was mad nice. They played a 3-2 against us, and they beat us the first game. And we played them the next season in the playoffs. And I was like, all right, you got to play 2-on-2 and that stuff. And it exposed them so bad. I was like, oh, that's why I like getting down to like, all right, what strategies work? Because I've seen it before where like you could shut down teams literally by you play this such and such. You may not even be the most efficient that day, whatever, but you're getting looks, you're getting fouls, whatever, right? They just could not. They couldn't. The only thing was 3-2. Couldn't stop out 2-on-2 whatsoever. Had guys cutting from the baseline. I played zone breaker or play on the baseline. Sometimes play the up top where the 2 guys are passing. This is what happens when you can't play in college, whatever. You're not playing college and you just play intramural. You start to take some of the stuff, like it's just these little stupid wins, and you go back to regular life.
It is, yeah. And then another team in my men's league though. This is they were all black, but they played that style though, right? And this team was just unbeatable, man. And I remember telling, we got some new players, right? And I told them, and I'm on the court with this kid. I don't want to say his name. I'm on the court with him. And I'm like, listen, him right there, don't let him step over half court. Right? I'm telling you, don't let him step over half court. He weighs me off. Right? So I'm guarding my man. The dude steps over half court, 1 foot over half court, pulls it up, smack. And I look at him, I'm like, I told you. And he did it like 3 times in a row before finally, we didn't even have a coach. We just had somebody, people would sub and someone was like, let me get him. Because they had a team of all guys who played in, played overseas or whatever. All of them did, the whole squad. And they played like the San Antonio Spurs. They had that one dude, he could shoot it from anywhere in the court. I mean, we're playing on a high school court, so when he steps over half court, takes a couple foot, whatever. If you're on an NBA court, it's probably shooting from Steph Curry range, knocking it down just like, he was just money. You had to guard him full court, which spread the court out like crazy. You couldn't go zone because he was going to knock it down. And then, they had guys that, they're just all guys from overseas, and they won the league every single year. And when they played, they were like the Spurs. It was just pop, 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 pop. They moved the ball fast.
Yep.
Everything was moving. And then they, and it was weird because you felt like you could play with them. A
lot of guys, it's like they lull you, kind of like, we got him. And it's like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, right. Because it's not like, it wasn't like they were playing hard and blowing past you and this and that. As a matter of fact, one of the guys that's on that team was on my team when we were 8-2 and we lost to the white guys. Right. He went on. He was young at the time. He was like 19 at the time, and then he was, he went on to college, and then he went on to play pro ball. But it's not like they just blow past you and do this. It's just like an easy boop, boop, boop. They know you can't take the ball from them. They're relaxing. It's pop, 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 boom. And you're like, come on, we can play with them. And it's like, nah, you can't play with them for real.
And the thing is that you see it, and it suits everybody in the chat, man. I've missed a few guys. Charles Reynolds, man, salute, man. You're like a new person. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and subscribe to Nothing But Knicks. This is Simeon Russell. If you don't know already, you probably do. Thank you for joining us, man. Ace of Kings, salute. He said I'm smoking bubbles out this pipe. Definitely doing that because there's nothing in this pipe. Ryan Green, salute. Derek Grant, salute, man. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. God bless each and every one of you guys. But and just to relate it back to NBA, because people are killing us, but in the NBA, it's like Jokic, when they catch the ball at the foul line, it's not like when I saw Peyton drive into Randall against Charlotte, I was like, holy crap, that is one of the most lowest IQ plays I've ever seen in my life, where Randall was open, flashed open. You know what I mean? And obviously, Thibodeau plays with a slow pace, but it's all about getting the ball, bam, bam, bam. Like, if you watch Jokic at times, honestly, so he takes the ball sometimes for one of the posts or wings, wait so guys get open. But many times you see Jokic, it's boom. And that's just because people are moving, cutting. But again, best basketball, hot potato basketball is some of the most effective basketball, especially, in the middle of games. Obviously not in the late where these guys like to do ISO, pick and roll, draw fouls, or get a shot with their best players. But in the middle part and the beginning part of games, man, that bam, 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 the pace, moving the ball, not dribble heavy and not letting the defense set. That's some of your best weapons. And real quick to Ronald Miller, by the way, yes, and Reggie Bullock, as I've been saying, is one of the better pick and roll defenders he's probably the best on this team. You said he's in the 88th percentile. So just real quick, Reggie Bullock, when he's defending the pick and roll ball handler, he's only allowing 5.564 points per possession, and he's 6 for 31. Now, again, synergy might be a little bit delayed, so I'm not sure if it counts the Magic game, but he's 6 for 31 for 19.4% from the field. For his opponent is doing that. So Reggie Bullock is definitely one of the better pick and roll defenders on his team.
Yeah.
Oh, Ember the Great too. No, I'm sorry, Ember the Great. I missed this.
Yeah, we definitely missed him when he was out, man. He doesn't bring a lot offensively, and he makes people cringe, makes me cringe sometimes offensively. But I could see the gaping hole defensively when he wasn't there. Yeah, you could just see it. I know
y'all love Knox. Knox ain't there yet, man.
No, not at that level. Definitely not. You could just see it. You could just see it. That the same intensity wasn't there. He moves around at a pace. Even on the offensive side, he moves at just a high energy pace. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ever notice when him and Randall, do a little 2-man screen and roll, handoff, try to get to the basket, it's very fast with them two doing it. And because of Reggie Bullock is moving fast. You know what I'm saying? And then it forces that Randall has to move fast and try to make a quicker decision. And on defense, he just mucks it up and makes it dirty.
Yeah. The biggest issue I have with him on, and I guess is a somewhat good thing on the pick and roll defense, that he can be aggressive, because sometimes the ball handler will stop and like try to draw contact and shoot the foul. Like he did against the Pacers, where he got caught with that. And I forgot, was it the Hawks? I can't remember who, but that's the biggest complaint, because Payton many times getting around picks, he gets there slow. Every team that has a pick and pop artist, excuse me, I said artist. Player that where the big man can shoot, they're gonna kill us or they're gonna have their way. Because look what happened with Horford. Turner couldn't hit the shots, but the first Pacers game it happened with. It happened with the why am I forgetting now? I had a list of it had John Collins hit a few threes against us. So Bullock helps out in that regard, even though I think the ice pick and roll defense, when you're playing against big men who can shoot and they just pop out, I still think you're vulnerable. But having a slow point guard who now your center has to wait till he gets back, he has to wait for you to get around and get back to his guy. Bullock definitely helps out a lot. And real quick, I missed and by the way, I got to ask you, this person's been in your chat, by the way. Stephen Fox, I apologize. Blarn's Tears was also here too. I apologize. Salute to those guys. Please, they'll be on tonight, 11:45. Blarn's Tears, subscribe to the channel. Man's and Knicks. He wasn't here, but salute to Ron Cleveland. Go subscribe to the channel, Man's and Knicks. Dan Alsanat, salute, bro. Nick G, salute, man. I'll be having an episode tomorrow, so Nick G, definitely come on because I know you want to talk about some stuff. Zach, Coach's Desk. I don't want to overwhelm Sim because, I already caught Sim on the RJ Barrett thing. I don't want to defeat Sim again. I'm tired of
you go talk to your boy Josh on that issue, man. Go talk to Josh. Go talk to Josh.
He cut me off yesterday. I was like, I'll show you. Oh, we already went through that. I'm like, Josh. I already killed you 3-0 when RJ Barrett was doing bad. Do you want to see I gotta put it. Remember when Hulk Hogan had that run of just winning? It got boring. It's like I don't want to do that to Josh, man. I want Josh to have his humanity. When you keep beating on somebody like how but salute to all you guys, man. I'm just tired of winning, man. But Antar Wright, salute to you guys. Real quick, before you get out of here, we do have two guys that we need to mention. Do you take flowers on these guys? KPJ, we just got cut by the Cavaliers.
Man, it's that. You know what? That's a tough one. Because he's definitely talented. He's very talented. He's a talented player. We don't know what's going on with him, like in the locker room and his behavior and all that kind of stuff. And I do feel like this team we have good leadership in the locker room, right? But you also got to have good leadership with your players and the kind of culture that one person can't come in and just crack that culture up. And I just don't know, is it there yet where you have that strong of a group where one player can't come in? And I mean, anytime a player comes in, it's going to change the chemistry, right? But you got to have a strong enough group to be able to say, you're not going to come in and change things up with your behavior, with this, with that, and the other thing. I don't know if our group is that strong yet. That's what scares me, about trying to bring them in.
I think it's a little bit deeper than that, man. And salute to John B. Salute to Julian Trent. That's my guy. Julian Trent, salute, bro. LIY, salute. The thing with him, I think it might be because remember he had that thing this summer where he sent out a suicidal tweet or something, or it was seen possibly as being suicidal. So I don't know. Look, obviously you bring him on, you could take a flyer on him, but I just think that he might have mental issues because I think that also he had some issues in college where he had these behavioral issues. Ultimately, so yeah, I just don't know. Look, would he probably have a prominent role in the team? No. Obviously, he's a gem because I think that at USC he could. I don't think he shot well at USC. He did shoot. I think he did shoot well last year. I got to check the stats from three. But again, he's a mercurial figure. And again, I agree with you. I'm not sure we have the structure or the leadership right now. The Knicks right now is kind of like, it's kind of like a rocky boat in a not rocky, but it's steadying. And it's like you don't want something to go up.
Exactly. You don't want something to come and rock it when it's not steady and strong, and that's what I'm afraid of with him.
Right, and he only shot 33.5% for three, so I'll take that back. But yeah, he's a slasher. He's a talented kid, but mentally, sheesh, I don't know about him, man. Yeah, if they could do psyche valves on him and see if he's, what was the reason, you know what I mean? Because again, look, I got simply when the whole Kyrie Irving thing came out, man. I said it before, man. There could be three things. It could be drugs. I'm not saying is that. I'm not alluding. One of the possibilities with players who kind of act out. It could be he's just tired of the game. He wants attention, which is all right. This guy's a clown. It also could be mental issues, which gets very underreported amongst basketball players, right? You're talking about a guy. I don't know what Porter's background, but a lot of black kids. A lot of times they get pressured to play basketball. Look what happened with the kid from the kid that used to be on the Bucks. The power forward dude who retired, then he came back. Golly, I can't remember his name. I could see his face too. And he had mental issues. Guys like freaking, Meta World Peace, mental issues. And a lot of times it gets underreported. It gets ignored. Oh, these guys. Royce White was another one, had anxiety issues, could not, travel with the team on a plane.
Yeah.
People just, oh, these guys are rich. These guys, it's like, well, money doesn't solve problems. It just exacerbates whoever you are or whatever you had before. Even look at Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley, this is a guy who's posting pictures of paraphernalia and all that stuff, and people suspect that something's wrong with him. Guy's been cutting team from team despite the kid is still talented. So my heart goes out to KPJ. Larry Sanders, that was a guy. Larry Sanders on the Bucks. Hopefully, and Chef NYK, man, salute. Anthony 212, salute. Rich Boy, salute. Passion about passion, salute as well, too, man. Zach Coaches, that salute. So hopefully he gets that fixed. So, but another guy, lastly, Alex Len.
Yeah, I saw he got waived today by the Raptors. I saw that. He's definitely a guy that can, he's 7 foot. He can spread the floor for you. And that's that's something that the Knicks need from that big man position, I think. Someone who can really spread the floor and be make teams a little bit afraid. Who do you waive? You waive Iggy, you waive Theo Pinson,
DSJ.
You waive DSJ, bring in Alex Len. I don't have a problem with that.
If you could turn Alex Len into a perimeter shooter off the bench, do you guys know how? Again, I'm not saying Alex Len is. He was drafted fairly high, I think 10th. He's a bust, obviously, but if you could refine his role on this team, now I don't know why the Raptors gave him up. He hit those 3 or 4 threes against us, but that team is struggling. So it might be behavior. Maybe they're getting somebody. I don't know. I don't know what the course.
Right. They could be ramping up for a move or something like. He wasn't getting much playing time with him, I guess.
And salute to Haiti Reformation Project. That is an interesting name. Danny Thomas, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I said thoughts on the Mets offseason so far, and the Mets fire their GM for the sequel allegations. I'll be covering that. I'll be opening up my Mets channel. Just been busy with work, but definitely going to open that. Salute to Coach Color Blocks. But the Mets got New York, so we don't even. And salute to Coach Cooking with Chef Zay. Even though that chef name or that preface shouldn't be there because he's not a chef. But Michael Jones, salute. Len also weighs 250 pounds. But guys, please go check out 3BL, Big Brother, Little Brother for Isaiah. Support the channel. And I think you have an episode with him coming up where he's cooking, right? He's cooking stuff.
I'm waiting for him. I don't know.
Big gourmet.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for him. But, he also thought that we had a big break coming up this week. And I'm like, Isaiah, we played four games in 6 nights. It's not a big break. He's like, well, we play Monday. We don't play again until Thursday. I'm like, that's 2 days off. It's not a huge break.
And Isaiah, no one wants to see a little Jimmy Dean. Oh, I made a fake hamburger. And you cut the video and then bring it back. And, oh, my gosh, a sausage, egg and cheese. Like, Isaiah, we know you can't cook like that. So just stop it. Just make the basic stuff. Order the Chinese, cut the camera off and bring it on. Don't try to burn down the house like you did with Sim, man. Because we know you can't cook. Salute to Anton Cates as well, too, man. That's Kevin Knox's brother. But yeah, guys, we are out of here, man. Salute to Sim, NBK. BJ Boogie, salute too, man. Thank you for coming on, Sim. We'll be back on, well, I guess not Thursday. That's a game. Actually, well, it depends. If you want to do it Thursday because it's a late game, we could do a preview.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a late game. Because I'll probably do my game preview during the day.
Okay. So if you
so we can still do it because the game starts at what?
10?
Oh, damn, it's gonna be a late night.
First of all, you don't sleep. So what's your point? Sim, you come on Freezy's channel. I saw you come on at 3 a.m. Like it was like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? Like dogs. We're all about to shut down the show, man. Like this is stupid.
One thing, check this out. Did you guys see this? We were talking about Michael Beasley, right? Did you guys see this? Let me bring it over here for a minute. Just give me a second. I'm gonna get it up. Michael Beasley is something else, man. I don't know about that guy.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, Michael Beasley. He was talented too, man. Oh my gosh, man. When he was at K-State, jeez.
So Michael Beasley. Hold on. I don't want to. Well, anyway. What is he doing? What is he doing?
Ooh.
Come on, bees.
Yeah. Didn't Jakeem Noah do something stupid like this too?
I don't know.
Oh, they said his mother
man.
died and he hasn't been the same. All right, man. I guess that makes sense.
Okay. All right. I
Thank
give him
you
that.
for doing all the fun, man.
I can give him that. I don't know, but I can give him that. I mean, Michael Beasley does stuff.
Yeah,
Michael Beasley's been still doing
he
stuff
has
like
turned
that.
into comedy because when you see him do videos and interviews, he does kind of like, not saying he does it on purpose, but he kind of knows he's weird. He plays into it at times. I saw that video with the girl used to be the reporter, used to be on SNY. Now she's on Bleacher Report. He was in a video. He's just acting weird on purpose. I'm like, all right, this guy, he knows he's a character.
He does. Yeah, that's him. That's him. Yeah. My favorite quote though is when they asked him, "When did you know you were hot?" and he gave his birth date. I was like, "Oh, that's a good one."
He knows it. I don't like the team with NBA. I thought that team with him, LeBron, and Lance Stevenson was going to be fun, but LeBron was like, "Yeah, let's get back to basketball."
Right. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Lance Stevenson do this. They were on the path to making the playoffs until LeBron got hurt. So, that was an interesting, weird team, man. But yeah, thank you guys for coming, man. Taylor Rooks, that's the name. Salute to Jason, salute to TL, by the way, too. Hold on. Let me give Chuck, if Chuck Blanche and Stephen Fox are here, I'm gonna put the invite so you guys can come in to the chat after the show because I'll tell you how to get Chuck off of the block list because you could do, but you have to do it from your computer, not from a cell phone. So I'll definitely I sent out the invite, so just come on to the StreamYard and I'll talk to you guys after the show ends. But somebody said, bro looks like a surfer. Oh, yeah, Michael Beasley, he's out there, man.
Right.
You guys, man. Peace, salute. Definitely be doing the breakdown on Tuesday before the game of the Warriors. So stay tuned, and we'll see you later. Do you have a show tomorrow, Sim?
I haven't decided. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe doing something in the morning. I guess I'll send out a notification if I'm gonna. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, cool. And if Fox, if you could join the video chat as well too, we'll talk after. So, but to all you guys, man, peace, salute, God bless, man. We out of here.
All right, no doubt, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.